Hey everyone, today we're diving back into the eerie world of Google Maps. From ghost towns to mysterious findings, get ready to explore some of the creepiest and most bizarre findings captured on camera. Let's uncover these spine-chilling locations together. Starting with somebody named Paulette Londrix, who disappeared on November 2nd of 2020 without leaving a trace at all, which at the time, local police issued a search alert for the potentially confused woman who had a habit of wandering off without notifying anyone. Putting in the coordinates of her home into Google Maps unveils a bizarre discovery. The car drove by at the exact time Paulette wandered off, which you can see her here, and what's heartbreaking is you can see her husband too, drying clothes in the backyard of the house, not knowing she left. Her body was discovered 2 years later just across the street where she fell down a hill below the neighbor's garden. Dude, can you believe that none of the neighbors knew that she was basically right there? Moving on though to something that is definitely unsettling. When you put these coordinates into Google Maps, it takes you to this area in Los Angeles where you can see the word help spelled out using what looks to be pipes or sticks. You also see the word traffic and a few other things that are hard to read. Definitely let me know what you think is going on here. I couldn't find much on this other than this tweet that said that this was likely done by victims of human trafficking. So this is pretty crazy. A swastika shaped building complex in a San Diego Navy base. And I mean, dude, you can clearly see it's a swastika symbol. There's no hiding that. I mean, they may have planted a few trees you can see around it, but there's no denying the shape of that. The Navy has maintained its position though on the shape being a very unfortunate and unforeseen accident, but faced with public outrage, they've tried to hide the swastika. They planted trees, built rocks, and even added solar panels, but it wasn't until recently that the decision came to take a more drastic step and initiate a complete renovation project to turn the swastika into a square. Moving on to something now that is literally called the door to hell. When putting in the coordinates, it takes you to here, the Darvaza gas crater, also known as the Gates of Hell. It looks like a giant hole spewing flames in the middle of Turkmenistan's vast Karakum desert. The crater's fiery history began in the 1980s, though the exact origin story is a bit hazy, with some theories saying Soviet scientists set it alight to burn off escaping natural gases after a drilling accident. Whatever the cause, this fiery pit has become a major tourist attraction, drawing in around 10,000 visitors a year. And I mean, looking at some of the pictures and videos online, it does look pretty cool. Like, I could see why a lot of people would want to go there too. Moving on now to an underwater aeroplane wreckage, which, fun fact, was owned by Pablo Escobar as one of his drug planes. The coordinates take you to this very, very beautiful island. Just scrolling around, you can see the water's blue as ever. Like, you can just tell it's nice here. But when we scroll and scrolling a little more, you see this. Pablo Escobar's drug plane is an especially famous wreck. This leftover from the 1980s drug trade crashed in shallow water, leaving behind a giant metal fish haven. Even though it has a dark past, it's became a popular dive for its easy access and the variety of sea creatures living there. So this one looks like it was just a glitch on Google Maps. This looks like just a typical old street in San Francisco, California, right? There's nothing going on. It goes downhill. Cars around, nothing, there's nothing going on, right? But when you look up, what is that? Some people were saying this was a UFO. It's not a UFO. It looks like it's just like a bolt to a vehicle that's like 1,000x the size, but it turns out that yes, it's not a UFO. You don't have to freak out. It's really just a camera glitch. It looked like it picked up on one of the sides of the cameras, because on the Google Maps cars they have like 2,000 cameras. I don't know, they have an insane amount of cameras, but it definitely looks pretty crazy to see. Let's move on to Antarctica, where there's a spot that looks like a giant broken human face, and I mean, dude, it looks cool, almost like art. The coordinates take you to this vast empty area that looks like it goes on forever, and just looking around this place, you can tell there's like nothing here. But if you zoom in and keep on zooming and go all the way, you see this. I haven't been able to find much info on this other than some people saying these sightings are just strange rocks or ice formations that look interesting from a certain angle. I think it could be a hidden base or even giant doors leading underground. For there to be this big of an area with nothing around, it doesn't seem like this would be a coincidence. This is another bizarre finding. Now let's jump to the New Mexico desert, where when typing in these coordinates reveals some weird cryptic alien looking symbol. Not only that, you can tell it's massive too from the aerial view. This is called Trementina Base, built by Scientology, the religion founded by Ron Hubbard to hold onto his writings and recordings forever. They say it's an underground maze of tunnels guarded super tight to protect Hubbard's work even from nuclear bombs. The outside is marked by weird symbols allegedly put there to guide Scientologists back from space. Talk about creepy. A massive face sculpture located in Canada nicknamed the Badlands Guardian, which is a natural rock formation that looks eerily human-like. Seeing faces and objects in landscapes is a phenomenon called pareidolia. We often do it with clouds, toast, and even craters on Mars. But when Lynn Hicko first discovered the Guardian in 2005, the internet went wild. But the Guardian isn't some ancient carving. It's a trick of light and shadow on the soft rock, making a valley look like a giant face. But what do you think? I mean, just looking at it, you can clearly see the chin right here, and then the lips too, and even like the outline of the nose leading to the eyes. It's like the longer you look at it, the more you can see the face. Let's jump to a remote village in Japan where when putting in these coordinates show an eerie discovery. After many residents left, Tsukimi Ayano began creating hundreds of scarecrows to fill the empty homes and streets. Today, over 350 scarecrows resembling former villagers and rural characters give the village a unique, chilling atmosphere, and just going through it is definitely pretty creepy. You can see all the scarecrows on the streets and corners, and it looks like they're real people. Could you imagine taking a hike through there and not knowing about that? Now let's go back to the United States, where I wanted to add this into the video too because it's really cool. Deep in the Arizona desert lies a place nicknamed the Boneyard, a massive junkyard for airplanes and missiles that are no longer used by the US military. And dude, just looking around, you can see there's planes that go on and on for fields. There's smaller jet planes to some huge 747 passenger looking planes too. They even house some missiles and other planes from other countries. I know this place may look accessible. You can see here there's a bunch of houses and neighborhoods around, and there doesn't even look to be a gate surrounding the field of planes that is literally right there. But it's not. It's actually a high security zone, but they do hold an annual run event for the public once a year. Let's go to Saudi Arabia, where there's over 1,000 strange wheel structures in the desert of Jordan. Over 1,000 wheels have been spotted from the air, some as wide as 70 meters, and are mostly found on lava fields. Some are lined up with the winter solstice sunrise or other astrological events, making scientists wonder if they were used for special ceremonies or keeping track of time, or even as meeting places for specific rituals. Definitely let me know what you think it is. You can see that they are just scattered everywhere.